And welcome back. It was a dark moment in U.S. history. 100 years ago, a race riot broke out in Tulsa, Oklahoma, killing an estimated 300 people, mostly African Americans.
And today, a Utah-based forensics laboratory is beginning the process of identifying bodies that were disposed of in mass graves. For every crime, there's a story, and the truth matters. Here's ABC4's senior crime and punishment correspondent Marcus Ortiz with tonight's Justice Files.
In 1921, African Americans were thriving in an area outside of Tulsa, but a race riot broke out, leaving the area often called Black Wall Street in ruins. Many of the bodies were never identified. Now, the final chapter in their story could soon be completed here in Utah.
You know, the black community was thriving. They were doing good. They had good businesses. They were just trying to make a living.
But in late May 1921, a mob made up of white men stormed the district of Greenwood, Oklahoma, just outside of Tulsa. There's anger after a young African-American teen trips entering an elevator and falls into a white woman. She claims she's assaulted. The once proud Greenwood district is set on fire by the mob. Homes are destroyed, businesses set on fire, and people killed. Within hours, plumes of dark smoke can be seen throughout the Tulsa area. Janetta Williams is from Oklahoma and learns of this from her great-aunt, who's a child at the time while living in Tulsa.
African Americans couldn't take up arms, you know, against the white folks, and they were just killed and slaughtered.
When the smoke clears the next day, 35 square blocks are burned to the ground. Often called the Black Wall Street, the Greenwood district never recovers. The deaths range from 300 to 800, depending on various sources, including the state.
They had people missing, you know, some of their family members saying they were missing, and they had presumed that they were dead. And what happened was that folks just put them in mass graves, just buried them.
And to this day, many of those who die in the 1921 Tulsa massacre remain unknown. This summer, a commission representing the state of Oklahoma has bodies exhumed from a known gravesite. More than a dozen of the bodies are now in Utah at a forensics laboratory.
We're very optimistic that we're going to be able to identify these people and bring answers to their families.
Kara Porter is the founder of Intermountain Forensics Laboratory. It's the only nonprofit lab in the nation. Intermountain Forensics recently has chosen to develop profiles on some of the bodies exhumed from those mass graves in Oklahoma.
Once we get profiles on the individuals, we're going to upload those to some public genealogy databases.
Once on databases like GEDmatch, one can submit their own DNA to see if there's a relationship to the remains of those buried in Tulsa.
It is a step toward justice because, you know, we can give them a proper memorial or something that way, or a proper headstone, things. But I think it's a step in the right direction.
At stake for families of the dead are possible financial reparations, which has been denied by Oklahoma's legislature. But there's a similar effort in Congress waiting to do what the legislature couldn't. For the Justice Files, Marcus Ortiz, ABC4 News.
Turning now to the Mountain West Minute.